Okay, Krista, your sending us Austin Kleon's Steal Like an Artist this morning was like the sign that I needed that it's time to record this video, which will always be for, you guys will always be my first audience. So I mentioned that I've been going back to a bullet journal style for planning. So it's a lot more blank slate than pre-laid out. I used, in order to like really embrace imperfection, I used an old notebook that I had not finished using. So I could just not have it be perfect, even though I wanted to be more artistic in this journal. So this is like from 2023 April. And then at the time of this recording, I am talking about a late 2024, early 2025 bullet journal. So this is when I was doing the GTD style that I've been doing since 2008, where I just literally write down everything that comes to mind and just cross things off when they're not done, or when they are done, and then migrating tasks when they are. So old notebook, very text and task heavy. Oh look, Leslie Banks, Julie Bogart. An old calendar that I pen and penciled in. All right, so we're getting to the point where I started in this November, where I have like glued in old watercolor, used markers and more color in general just to add, excuse me, some more art. And this was more reflective than plannery. I don't like how this looks, but it's fine because what came out was great. This was a page where I started my day and I was like, I really need self-care today, and I don't know what that looks like yet. So I just took a marker and wrote different kinds of self-care practices, different categories for me, whether it be art or putter time, books and gardening, deep breaths, and then I mind mapped specific ways of, or more detailed subtopics, and I ended up putting boxes on them. And I didn't do all those things in this one day, but I came back to it over the week and filled in more self-care practices that I was able to practice. One time I did hard things, fun things, because I was like, I have a lot of hard things I need to do today, and I need to balance it with fun things. This day I chose a word, and that was reset. And I put different categories like house, food prep, creative reset, random little things. On this day I wrote a thankful and proud list, and I wrote a what do I need to let go of, and what am I dreaming and hoping of. And this is way bigger picture than I would normally do, because I'm usually just thinking of like this day, this moment, this hour, because I like to complete things, and dreams and hopes really can't get completed in one day. So that was really big for me. One day I wrote a list of open projects because I just felt like I had a lot of things on my mind, and I wanted to just kind of keep track and get a sense of what are some things I've started that I have not finished yet. Like I was working on the medication tracker. I had started making that wreath out of a notebook, a spiral notebook that I scrapped, and was using that to coil around branches that I got from, I think, cutting down or trimming our maple tree books. So many books. I was like, I have a lot of books going on right now, and I need to just like write down which ones I'm reading. And so, you know, it's okay to start more, but I like to acknowledge the completion because that's satisfying, and also just not forget ones that I've started that I'm still enjoying. The Clutterbug course that I paid for, I'm not done yet with it. Theo's shelf, I really want to trim a shelf and put it up there. And I wrote this in November, and in January, yesterday, I watched a YouTube video about using a circular saw. So I might be able to bring this to fruition soon. I was also doing a DIY pegboard, and that's, I mean, I got started on it I don't think I'm going to complete it. It was silly of me to think I could save $15 when I can get it from the Habitat for Humanity store. And then I wanted to make a sticker binder because I saw somebody on YouTube doing a journaling video, and instead of like storing their stickers in a box, like I have mine, she had it in a binder and dividers for like alphabet ones or animal ones or seasonal. And I feel like that flat way, but organizing it would be a really fun way to collect and store my stickers, and maybe other ephemera that's not a sticker but could be glued into a junk journal. Oh, I also wrote that these are things that are, I don't know what I meant by this, but time sensitive versus no deadline. Random thoughts, the loosest plan I've ever made. Okay, I did the hour by hour on this one day because I needed it. One day I wrote so many things I have to say no to, and I thought I was going to end up filling this out because I just felt like I was like having to make trade-offs to focus on priorities. Yeah, and then I just cut out this like super old watercolor I had done and put it in here. Corey drew this fall picture, and I wanted to do more with it, and I never did. This was trying to do a more structured bullet journal spread for the month, thinking through, like, instead of just like waiting around and figuring out like what projects have I started, this is like more intention. And I noticed, I don't think I actually used it too much, but it could be, it was a good brainstorm, and also maybe referencing if I lost track of what was important to complete because I was just paying attention to what was shiny day to day. So this is stuff that like has a date, like Thanksgiving or birthday plans for January birthdays, books, and then some things that are more like I'm in charge of making it happen, like working on my website, my Etsy shop, again, finishing the Clutterbug course. This was another sort of doing a reflection rather than a preemptive planning. This is another spread that I don't like, but it's fine. I'm glad I tried it. I tried to do November Pomodoros, like a tracker, kind of like Allie with her like light bright thing, because I was really struggling to feel focused or like I was making progress on things. So I did write like things that like match up with my values of how I want to spend my time. And whenever I do those things, I get to give myself credit here. So 15 minutes timed writing, 30 minutes timed organizing, 30 minutes with bullet journal or garden journal or gray junk journal or morning pages, doing a pen sketch, OCD recovery, 20 minutes of cleaning, label something, reading during the daytime and not just waiting till the evening. Recording myself. I don't know if I meant like a video like I'm doing now, but hey, I'm doing that right now. This is my 100th day sketch. And I just put it in here because I've been too cheap to buy stickers, but I want more drawings and such like that. I made a ta-da list. I wrote a schedule once. I took notes on helping my best friend redo her office. This is another sort of like reflective, mindful journaling. Oh, this is when I wrote our little quotes. High no creativity. I also have the no amount of grace and more suffering, more compassion you deserve. Need to put that in. This is our movie and shows list. I was Googling family shows on Netflix to prepare for Christmas season, and when we watched them, I got to check them off, and it was really great to have a little bit more prompting instead of arguing and all that stuff. How do I want to feel today? Must do, may do, want to do. A little doodle of my pegboard project, and this totally counts as a pen sketch. This is a magazine cutout. Oh, there's like way more magazines. I wanted to do like I wanted to save these leaves as stickers to make stickers, but I don't know, I got distracted. I think we're watching Anne of Green Gables, and then I just put them all here. And here's my receipt from getting a cream latte at a local coffee shop called Kraken. And this is, I think I bought some drill bits. Yeah, because I want to work on getting my tools together to learn some more woodworking stuff. So that's my Harbor Freight receipt. Let's see. Another just reflection with a magazine cutout. This was Thanksgiving prep, and I wanted it to like be more of a spread and even be labeled and entitled, but it didn't have that. And this was a Thanksgiving that I really, really, really was not feeling and just was dreading all the work, even though I volunteered to host. But I used these Post-it note tapes from Daiso so I could move around to tasks and try to get more things done earlier. This is a spread called Luteal Phase Self-Care, where I'm just writing like things that help support mood and such during the luteal phase, because it's a time of the month where I just feel like super not myself, and I don't feel good, and I feel like I just want to burn everything down. So essential oils that are helpful, and listening to this old album by Reliant K while rage cleaning the house seems to feel good this time of the month. I know that I want to add more things. And then I wrote the color codes for this Tombow brush pens that I used, because the caps for, I think, 2 of the brown shades, they look different than they look like they're inverted. So I wrote it down in case I wanted to use these colors again, because I like what I chose, or maybe I thought I was going to incorporate it in the spread. Ooh, I did another sort of like intentional self-care, like what sights, sounds, smells, feels, and tastes are like seem appealing and soothing to me. I did a pen sketch at the lake. We went to Silver Lake one day, and it was so beautiful on the dock. And so I just took out my journal, because it's like my planner and my junk journal and my doesn't have to be perfect journal. I was doing these Post-it notes with my checklist stamp, and I think I might have done that just for some texture, and also because I wanted to pull it out, or like that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, which I can explain another time. This is a long journal thing, maybe morning pages-esque. This was a reminder to myself to ask some Etsy patrons to rate and review my product, because I had 0 reviews at that time. This was me drawing some IKEA cabinets, because I was thinking about better storage ideas for our living room to create a little more hidden storage, because I was feeling like the house was super cluttered, which is a feeling I'm having all the time. These are little star cutouts with the star punch I have from magazines. And I just kept some measurements so that if I come back to this later, I will have the measurements. It wouldn't be a horrible idea to cut these out and glue them into my home notebook so that it's all in one place, but at least it's somewhere. This didn't turn out exactly like I wanted, but these are, this is a black and white printout of a scan of the Better Homes and Gardens cookbook, because I had to ask my mom for the stuffing recipe, and I think I glued the stuffing recipe into my holiday notebook. So here's a December spread. If you remember, for November I just did kind of my projects, but in December I did a monthly calendar, and I thought I would leave more room for more highlights and more planning from behind, because I'm trying to do more planning from behind rather than planning ahead. So that means less space here, because I'm not so much focused on what like has to get done, but on what I do end up doing. So there's a little pen sketch of the Nutcracker when Emmy performed. I made some notes of medication changes because it's that hard time of year. I did a cute little bunting sketch and what's coming up ahead in January. And there's a pen sketch of a Christmas tree. I put a Post-it note because I thought I would do December. Oh, that timer was for me to record for at least 15 minutes because I didn't think I would stick to it if I didn't set a timer. So woohoo. I didn't end up doing a first week spread, and that's okay. I just jumped in December. I really liked that I did this like Laurel sketch for every day. And so this is more traditional bullet journaling where I'm just daily logging. And so I did the day of the week in a little cursive. And as you can tell, it's a little bit more like my old GTD style, but with some sketches. Like, this is our fireplace. And I did some tidying. So I drew an old broom and I put a barbell for going to my weightlifting class. There's a little egg in a frame. Mushrooms and salami I added to a frozen pizza. Or I think I wrote that as a plan. Like, this is what I should do tonight. And the visual just helps me get excited about it and remember it because I'm a visual thinker. If I only get one thing done today, what would I want that to be? Clean the van. I got some new pens at the store, so I like put a little swatch there. I used a highlighter, I think, and I used like the friction ones that I could erase because I don't always like color in here. I put a highlighter for like what I need to focus on and then erased the highlighter when I did it. I wrote this week's priority for the second or third week of December. I made notes on an episode of Carl the Collector because it really stood out to me and one of my kiddos. Carl needing scripts to know what to say and being slow to understand other people's thoughts and feelings and not knowing what to do in new situations. Random pilot's checklist. This realization that my Chinese name, not realization, just remembrance. I knew this already. It means harmony and peace. Peace was the main one, though. I think that's ever elusive in my life. Autism and Theo calling it optism. I did a visual of like things I wanted on vacation because I needed to start packing, but I hate to pack. This is a Google Doc saying it's not a trip unless there's a Google Doc, which is one of my friends, Alyssa, said, who makes Google Docs for all her trips, and it's so brilliant. There's a picture of Holy Envy, which is like the book I wanted to read on vacation and which I ended up bringing. Yay me. Watercolor. We brought watercolor with us. And then I remember in the past that I've done watercolor on a dresser when I've been on vacation without a desk. And I think I ended up, after this, putting my watercolor on my dresser in our room because school break made it really hard to paint out here. Random quote reminding me that Corey told me to focus when I got distracted by other Legos at the store. When we were buying Beckett's birthday present. And this birthday paper I glued in here. So sort of the annotating later is a way of making it a little bit more planning from behind and being reflective and mindful. Again, this is 2023. I just used this notebook that had lots of gaps in it, and yeah, it's okay. It's great. Greece trip. I made a this week. So I don't do a this week every week. I just do it when I'm like, I need to collect and organize my thoughts. I was doodling while we were watching the movie Scrooge, and some of the doodles from the credits were cute, and so I copied them. These are from some wrapping papers. I want there to be more stuff on here, but it's what it is. This is a sticker from Corey on a card to me, and I wish that I had saved the whole envelope and just taped the envelope in here and then used it to like insert a reflection. This is a sticker and some cute old paper on some wrapping paper that Kathy bought that I loved. A quick Goodreads checklist for me to post, because I don't post books when I start them in case I don't finish them, but every once in a while I like need to catch up and throw a bunch of books up there. I started reading a new book, Low Demand Parenting. There's a little doodle of a book. My pen exploded on vacation, but I was happy that I had just doodled some of the nature out there. The pine cone, this fern, this pine branch that had fallen, and this mushroom that was growing out of the stone steps. And yeah, it was just, I was happy to get some fresh air, and I just took my journal out and did some drawing when we got there. These are like kind of more fun personal projects, and so I put them in a little like cute notebook doodle to separate them from like must-do house boring things. I didn't know what to do for my January dates. Like, I don't like that at all. I think I was going for eucalyptus, and then like I did these banners, which are cool, but I don't know. I listened to a fun soundtrack in the morning, so I drew a little CD and wrote, oops, so sorry for shaking the camera. I was going to tell Krista that I put my happy light up on my dresser, and I don't usually get ready there, but I have a mirror, and so I kind of got inspired by that. My painting is there, all my stuff is there. So then I got to this January spread, and I decided I wanted to go back to my bigger calendar because the December one didn't really work so well for me. I had some watercolor swatches, a whole page of just playing with watercolor on sheet paper with my kids, and I liked the colors in there, so I cut out some and stamped on there, and I did special blocks for my kiddos' birthdays, and this is the first time I've done these boxes with gaps because I'm usually all about efficiency and using like all the space to write everything. As you can see, I used pencil because I was scared about making a wrong mark with pen, and yeah, I don't always go back in and do pen because this is just for me. This little North Star image, because that's something I'm trying to follow, which I'll say more about another time. I wrote down on the 4th and the 6th some things that I did that are moving the needle on stuff and not just day-to-day cycle stuff. This was a quick, well, not a quick, but I didn't buy Powersheets this year, so I kind of went through my last year's Powersheets and answered the questions. And then I did sort of a Powersheets thing here where it's my January tending list, because I think, I just wanted to be able to focus on at the end of the month or throughout the month, what do I need to do? I didn't think I had, when I started making this, I was like, oh, there's like 1 or 2 things I need to do. But as I started spending the time thinking about it, there were way more things than I thought. So I'm very glad I have this one page where that's what I need to not forget. I use the same coloring there. And yeah, I wish it were consistent. Like I wish I did that for like the daily thing, but like I'm coming up with this idea on the fly. And I think like when influencers make their bullet journaling videos where they're like, bullet journal with me, they've already done like a draft somewhere else in a sketchbook, like a junk sketchbook that they're not showing you, and they are like redoing it as though for the first time. So this is my raw, unedited bullet journal as I'm making it. And it doesn't look, it doesn't look internet pretty, but it made me happy versus me not doing anything at all. This was me taking notes on that YouTube video about how to use a circular saw. This was me working out the low demand worksheets when I was at karate. And we are here today. I was thinking about Allie's spinner and making a dry erase version. And here's a Goodreads list again. And this is where we are. So this is my tour through my junk bullet journal. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.